The superior man is modest in his speech but exceeds in his actions. To study and not think is a waste. To think and not study is dangerous. Respect yourself and others will respect you. When it is obvious that goals can't be reached, don't adjust the goals, adjust the action steps. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. He who learns but does not think is lost. He who thinks but does not learn is in great danger. To see what is right and not do it is the want of courage. The will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential. These are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence. Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. It is easy to hate, and it is difficult to love. This is how the whole scheme of things works. All good things are difficult to achieve, and bad things are very easy to get. When you know a thing, to hold that you know it. And when you do not know a thing, to allow that you do not know it. This is knowledge. To be wronged is nothing unless you continue to remember it. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. Wherever you go, go with all your heart. Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. Everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it. What the superior man seeks is in himself. What the small man seeks is in others. The man who asks a question is a fool for a minute. The man who does not ask is a fool for life. The funniest people are the saddest ones. Faced with what is right, to leave it undone shows a lack of courage. The man of wisdom is never of two minds. The man of benevolence never worries. The man of courage is never afraid. To see and listen to the wicked is already the beginning of wickedness. Study the past if you would define the future. Never contract friendship with a man that is not better than thyself. The superior man thinks always of virtue. The common man thinks of comfort. If your plan is for 1 year, plant rice. If your plan is for 10 years, plant trees. If your plan is for 100 years, educate children. By nature, men are nearly alike. By practice, they get to be wide apart. In a country well governed, poverty is something to be ashamed of. In a country badly governed, wealth is something to be ashamed of. The expectations of life depend upon diligence. The mechanic that would perfect his work must first sharpen his tools. Ignorance is the night of the mind, but a night without moon and star. The strength of a nation derives from the integrity of the home. He who speaks without modesty will find it difficult to make his words good. When we see men of worth, we should think of equaling them. When we see men of a contrary character, we should turn inwards and examine ourselves. If a man takes no thought about what is distant, he will find sorrow near at hand. Learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous. The superior man understands what is right. The inferior man understands what will sell. I am not one who was born in the possession of knowledge. I am one who is fond of antiquity, and earnest in seeking it there. The superior man is distressed by the limitations of his ability. He is not distressed by the fact that men do not recognize the ability that he has. The superior man is satisfied and composed. The mean man is always full of distress. The superior man does not, even for the space of a single meal, act contrary to virtue. In moments of haste, he cleaves to it. In seasons of danger, he cleaves to it. When you have faults, do not fear to abandon them. When anger rises, think of the consequences. The object of the superior man is truth. Recompense injury with justice, and recompense kindness with kindness. He with whom neither slander that gradually soaks into the mind, nor statements that startle like a wound in the flesh, are successful may be called intelligent indeed. The superior man does not set his mind either for anything or against anything. What is right he will follow. The faults of a superior person are like the sun and moon. They have their faults, and everyone sees them. They change, and everyone looks up to them. When a person should be spoken with, and you don't speak with them, you lose them. When a person shouldn't be spoken with and you speak to them, you waste your breath. The wise do not lose people, nor do they waste their breath. The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. The more man meditates upon good thoughts, the better will be his world and the world at large. To put the world right in order, we must first put the nation in order. To put the nation in order, we must first put the family in order. To put the family in order, we must first cultivate our personal life. We must first set our hearts right. The superior man is all-embracing and not partial. The inferior man is partial and not all-embracing. We should feel sorrow, but not sink under its oppression. He who will not economize will have to agonize. Without an acquaintance with the rules of propriety, it is impossible for the character to be established. Virtue is more to man than either water or fire. I have seen men die from treading on water and fire, but I have never seen a man die from treading the course of virtue. When we have intelligence resulting from sincerity, this condition is to be ascribed to nature. When we have sincerity resulting from intelligence, this condition is to be ascribed to instruction. But given sincerity, there will be intelligence. Given intelligence, there will be sincerity. It is not possible for one to teach others who cannot teach his own family. A man who commits a mistake and doesn't correct it is committing another mistake. Humility is the solid foundation of all virtues. The superior man cannot be known in little matters, but he may be entrusted with great concerns. The superior man does not promote a man simply on account of his words, nor does he put aside good words because of the man. The superior man is easy to serve and difficult to please. To govern is to correct. If you set an example by being correct, who would dare remain incorrect? Riches and honors are what men desire. If they cannot be obtained in the proper way, they should not be held. In all things, success depends on previous preparation, and without such previous preparation there is sure to be failure. The superior man wishes to be slow in his speech and earnest in his conduct. The superior man is distressed by his lack of ability, not by people's failure to recognize his ability. Only the wisest and the stupidest of men never change. If you look into your own heart, and you find nothing wrong there, what is there to worry about? What is there to fear? Fine words and an insinuating appearance are seldom associated with true virtue. It is only the wisest and the most stupid that cannot change. When you meet someone better than yourself, turn your thoughts to becoming his equal. When you meet someone not as good as you are, look within and examine your own self. The father who does not teach his son his duties is equally guilty with the son who neglects them. To love a thing means wanting it to live. The firm, the enduring, the simple, and the modest are near to virtue. The superior man does not render evil for evil. This is the maxim of acting virtuously towards others. When a man's knowledge is sufficient to attain, and his virtue is not sufficient to enable him to hold, whatever he may have gained, he will lose again. The cautious seldom err. He who exercises government by means of his virtue may be compared to the North Polar Star, which keeps its place, and all the stars turn towards it. Without feelings of respect, what is there to distinguish men from beasts? He who requires much from himself and little from others will keep himself from being the object of resentment. The superior man can be made to go to the well, but he cannot be made to go down into it. He may be imposed upon, but he cannot be fooled. The superior man acts before he speaks, and afterwards speaks according to his actions. The superior man is aware of righteousness. The inferior man is aware of advantage. He who is really wise can never be perplexed. He who is really brave is never afraid. To be able under all circumstances to practice 5 things constitutes perfect virtue. These 5 things are gravity, generosity of soul, sincerity, earnestness, and kindness. A man should demand much from himself, but little from others. When you meet with rudeness, let your response be patience. If you wish to establish yourself, then help establish others. If you wish to succeed, then help others succeed. Learning is a weightless treasure you can always carry easily. In a group of many words, there is bound to be a mistake. In a group of many actions, there is bound to be a failure. Talk less and act carefully. Do not worry about not being recognized by others. Worry about your own lack of ability. One who is strict with himself and easy on others will avoid resentment. The gentleman understands what is moral. The petty man understands what is profitable. To go too far is as bad as to fall short. Exemplary persons seek harmony, not sameness. Petty persons, the opposite. The highest virtue is not virtuous, and that is why it is virtuous. The lowest virtue never lets go of virtue, and that is why it isn't virtuous. The virtue of a gentleman is like wind. The virtue of a petty person is like grass. Let the wind blow over the grass, and it is sure to bend.